Now I'm going to call the next speaker to the stage. He is the head of Canadian Center for Cyber Security. Please welcome to the stage, Sami Khoury.
Good morning, everyone, and it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, Professor Ben Israel, thank you, Gili, and thank you, Gabi, for inviting me to be part of this great event. It's my second time at Cyber Week. I was here a few months ago for Cyber Tech, and I had the pleasure of speaking to the audience there about innovation in cybersecurity. Israel has a vibrant cyber community, and the spirit of innovation is in a class by itself. Innovation, no wonder everyone calls Israel the startup nation. While the temperature between Canada and Israel fluctuates a lot from -30 to +30 or even -40 to +40, I have no doubt that the cyber threat is almost the same between our two countries. And I'll outline that in the next few minutes. I'm speaking to you as a peer, as a partner, and as a friend with whom we want to continue to collaborate and build resilience in our communities. I am the head of the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity within the Canadian federal government. We are the operational authority for cybersecurity and information assurance. And beyond safeguarding the government, we extend our services to critical infrastructure, small, medium businesses, and citizenry. So in essence, it's about safeguarding a nation. And to safeguard the nation, it's important to map the threats and know what we are safeguarding against. Notice I didn't say necessarily from whom. We have to do it irrespective of who's attacking us from a cybersecurity perspective. But of course, we're all very curious to know who's behind an attack. So that is secondary mission that we have at the Cyber Center, is to figure out who also did it. And the way we capture that threat landscape is by publishing a national cyber threat assessment. We've published the first one in 2018, 2020, and the last one we published in November of last year, November of 2022. The goal of this document, which is publicly available on our website, is to paint an accurate picture of the threat landscape in Canada so that together, not just the federal government, but businesses, academia, international partners, we can counter it more systemically and effectively. It's informed from a lot of public sources or the public available sources. It's also from our foreign intelligence mission, from classified sources, and from what we learn from defending the government. And every day, by defending the government, we see an enormous amount of activity of attacks coming against it. Many of, if not all of the observation won't come to you as a surprise. And I'm sure if you take the Canadian National Cyber Threat Assessment and you remove the word Canada and put the word Israel, Gabi can publish it as the INCD National Cyber Threat Assessment. So there's 5 judgments we made in the last National Cyber Threat Assessment. The first one is ransomware is a persistent threat to Canadians. That critical infrastructure is increasingly at risk from cyber threat activity. It's just as I was getting on a plane on Saturday, our team was being dragged into a major cyber incident in the energy space. So it's not stopping. The third one is that state-sponsored cyber threat is impacting Canadian. It's a strategic threat that we are facing, not just traditional cyber espionage, but also business intelligence, research, and so on. The fourth one is that cyber threat actors are attempting to influence Canadians, degrading their trust in the online spaces. And I'm talking here about misinformation, foreign interference, malinformation, disinformation. It's getting more and more prevalent. And lastly, that disruptive technology brings new opportunities and new threats. And yes, AI featured in that disruptive technology with quantum, crypto, and many of those that Gabi had mentioned in his presentation. But we live in a very rapidly evolving threat world, and it has barely been 6 months since we published the NCTA that we feel some things have already changed. We are seeing new types of actors or attackers who are getting bolder and taking very irresponsible and uncalculated risks. This is new for Canada to see that level of activity, and it's probably been a wake-up call for us to say we need to do something about it. With that high-level overview of the threat, defending a nation isn't trivial. But I feel that the ingredients for that defense are maybe 2 or 3. The one is to have world-class capabilities. And I'm very proud of what the team has built back home in terms of world-class capabilities to defend the Canadian government. But also have robust information sharing, but most importantly, I would say trusted partnerships. So strong capabilities, strong technical capabilities, very robust information sharing, and also trusted international partnerships. Without trust, we cannot have meaningful information sharings, and we can't have lasting partnerships. I often say it's not during a crisis that we will start exchanging business cards. So trust to facilitate information sharing and trust to partner domestically and internationally, but equally for us, important to partner with the private sector. They know so much and they have so much amazing capability that if we don't partner with the private sector, it's our own peril. Cyber is a team sport. We often hear many analogies of what cyber is, but cyber is a team sport. But just like a good football team, soccer team, or for us, a good hockey team, for a team to be effective, it must operate as one. There has to be good communication between the players. There has to be trust. We all want some good hard work. Everybody has to play their position. But also, there has to be optimism in getting on the soccer field. People go to play to win. They don't go to play to lose. So optimism has to be part of our motto or our DNA in cybersecurity if we want to win the battle against cyber threats. If I had more time, I had so many examples of partnerships that we have in Canada. But also internationally, we partner a lot with our international partners, our neighbors. We issue joint cybersecurity assessments, and there's a few that came out recently calling attention to certain threats. But also partnering with the private sector is super important for us because we realize that there's not enough people in Canada or in the world to tackle cybersecurity. So we have to partner. We have to be able to come up with new ideas to defend the nation. In order to partner and achieve what I call national level outcomes. So what are the things that we will do in Canada that will raise everybody's cybersecurity capability? We've deployed a free PDNS to all Canadians. Anybody can use it, a protective DNS. We've also deployed a national BGP monitor so that we know that when BGP routes change, we can pick them up right away. And a national SMS phishing sinkhole. We get a lot of funny SMS messages that we need to work with the private sector, work with the telco in order to sinkhole so that they don't affect us. But we're always looking for more opportunities, more ideas to partner. And if you have some, please come and talk to me after. And to deploy them to achieve those national level outcomes and defend the nation. There is no magic bullet, but back to my point about optimism, together we can make a difference. And yesterday in talking with Gabby, he mentioned together and trust are the 2 key words that also feature in my comments. So yes, together, by working together, we can make a difference, defend our democratic value, stand up to the threat we face, and our goal at the end is to make our communities unattractive to malicious actors and raise the cost of their activity. So thank you again for this opportunity to say those few words with you, and I wish you a very good Cyber Week.